Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Hi 2. Well, guys, we're on page 26. Well, remember last session on page 25. Here. Well, guys, on page 25, we read about the three important orders to just arrange the supporting sentences in a paragraph. Remember, guys, we had a chronological order, which means the order of time. We had a spatial order of space, and emphatic order of importance. So these are the three important orders to arrange supporting ideas, supporting sentences in a paragraph. And as you remember, we read out the first sample paragraph. Now, may I ask you to turn to page 26, everyone? Page 26. Okay, paragraph 2. Well, take a listen. Lowry's is a large department store that sells clothing for the whole family. As you enter the store through the main entrance, the jewelry department is directly in front of you in the middle of the store. On your left is the coat department, and the scarf department is behind the coats. To the right of the jewelry department is the cosmetics department. The elevators are on the east wall. In the northwest corner, you'll find the women's shoe department. Next to it, on the north wall, are hats and gloves. To the right of the hat and glove department are the handbags and belts. The children's clothes are between the handbag and belt department and the elevators. Well, guys, the order used here, as you notice, we have this here. That one is just over there. We've got, guys, spatial order here, or order of space. Okay, so order of space. So Lowry's is a large department store. So Lowry's, everyone, is a name that sells clothing for the whole family, for all family. You can get clothes for men, women, children. As you enter the store, as you just go inside the store through the main entrance means door, the jewelry department. Jewelry means earrings, necklaces, bracelets, rings, nose rings, I don't know, things that are generally made of gold, and they're so valuable. So the jewelry department is directly in front of you, is right just in front of you, in the middle of the store, in the middle, the center. On your left is the coat department, and the scarf department here means section, is behind the coats. To the right of the jewelry department is the cosmetics department. Everyone, cosmetics means creams, powders, and etc. that we use on our face and body to look more attractive. Cosmetics. The elevators, the lifts, are on the east wall. In the northwest corner, you'll find the women's shoe department. Next to it, next to the shoe department, on the north wall are hats and gloves. You know, gloves, we wear gloves in winter. To the right of the hat and glove department are the handbags and belts. You know, handbags for women, and belts. Belts are usually made of leather. The children's clothes are between the handbag and belt department and the elevator. So spatial order, guys, or order of space. Number 3, paragraph number 3. There were several reasons why I decided to attend Princeton University. My chief reason for choosing that university was its wonderful work-study program in agriculture, my chosen field. The university requires all its agriculture students to gain practical experience by working on local farms while they're still going to school. I knew that this would provide invaluable experience and prepare me to better use the skills I had learned in the classroom. Second, Pittsburgh hires only the finest teachers to teach in its graduate program. Then, two, there is Pittsburgh's deferred payment plan. This represented a great convenience to my parents. A final reason was the reasonable tuition. Well, guys, as you may have noticed, we have emphatic order here. Emphatic order, or order of importance. So, there were several reasons why I decided to attend Princeton University. So, we attend a university or we go to university. My chief reason, chief means main, principal, most important, my main reason for choosing that university was its wonderful work-study program in agriculture, my chosen field. Agriculture, everyone, means farming. So, the writer, the student here studies agriculture. It is his or her field, major. The university requires all its agriculture students, so it is a must for all farming students to gain practical experience. Gain means to get, obtain. Practical, guys, means relating to experience, relating to real situations. By working on local farms, while they're still going to school. So students are supposed to work on farms while they're going to school. By the way, school, guys, as you may know, here means university. Okay? I knew that this would provide invaluable experience. Invaluable, guys, means valuable. Don't just confuse it. It has a positive meaning. Invaluable means valuable, just extremely useful. Experience and prepare me, make me ready to better use the skills I had learned in the classroom. Second, Pittsburgh hires only the finest teachers. So this university hires, employs, recruits the finest teachers, professors, to teach in its agriculture, in its graduate program. Everyone, graduate means related to studies for a master's degree or a doctorate. When you get your bachelor's degree and you'd like to continue your studies, you become a graduate student. You do a master's degree or you study for your PhD. So, graduate program. Then, two, there was Pittsburgh's deferred payment plan. Everyone, deferred means delay, put off, put back. So, deferred payment plan means you don't have to pay your tuition, money you pay to the university. You don't have to pay it all at once, all together, okay? You can just make a monthly payment, okay? So we call this deferred payment plan. There is no need to pay it all at once. This represented a great convenience to my parents. This was a great convenience to my parents. It was a big advantage. It was a blessing, let's say. Something cool. So, a great convenience to my parents. A final reason was the reasonable tuition. Tuition, as I mentioned, is the money you pay for your studies. Reasonable means not too expensive, okay? Not too expensive, affordable. So the prices, when we say the prices are reasonable, we mean they are affordable. Okay, everyone, let's move on. Grammar box 3. Correlative conjunctions, no sooner than, hardly or scarcely when. Okay, just a second. So no sooner than, hardly, scarcely when. Okay, so let's see. I'd like to share some files with you guys. Okay, yeah, here we go. So, anyway, no sooner is used to show that one thing happens immediately after another thing. So, guys, we have two actions here. Okay, action 1, action 2. These two actions happen immediately one after another. It is often used with the past perfect. You know the structure of past perfect, okay? Let me just type it here for you. So past perfect means had plus PP, past perfect. And usually followed by than. Check out the examples. They had no sooner arrived than, this is action 1, this is event 1. They had no sooner arrived than, so what happened? They were arguing. So you see, two actions happened just immediately. Another one. We had no sooner started cooking than, this is action 1. There was a power cut and we had no electricity. There was a power outage. The electricity went out. You see, the two actions happened immediately. When no sooner is used in front position, let's say at the beginning of the sentence, guys, this is very important. So when we use it to connect two sentences at the very beginning, we invert the order of the auxiliary verb and the subject. You remember inversion? It is a kind of question form, but it's not a question. We put the auxiliary verb first, guys. This is common in more formal and literally styles. For example, no sooner had they, you see this had here? Okay, so no sooner had they started their walk, then, this is action 1, then it started to rain. So, everyone, these are the structures: hardly, when, or before; scarcely, when, or before. By the way, hardly and scarcely, they have the same meaning. Hardly, scarcely, when, before. No sooner than. Check out these examples. I had scarcely closed my eyes when the phone rang. Number 2, next one. She was scarcely inside the house before the kids started screaming. Next one. I had no sooner closed the door than, you see, with no sooner we generally use than. I had no sooner closed the door than somebody knocked. Knock, knock, knock. We no sooner sat down in the train than I fell sick. You see, two actions happening immediately. Okay? So again, if the second event happens immediately after the first, we can express the idea using this structure. Okay, check out these examples. No sooner had I arrived at the station than the train came. It means I came first and the train arrived right after me. Two actions happened simultaneously or in quick succession. Next one, no sooner had we heard the noise than we rushed to the spot. We hurried, we went quickly to the spot. No sooner had she finished one project than she started working on the next. No sooner had I closed my eyes than I fell asleep. No sooner had I stepped out than it started raining. Okay, so the structure no sooner is used to talk about something that happens immediately after something else. So here, this sentence, guys, this sentence means that I stepped out and immediately after that it started raining. These two activities take place almost simultaneously at the same time. There is no real time difference between them. And again, we discussed inversion. Now, no sooner had I received her call than I left for her place. Okay, not this one. No sooner had she finished one project than she started the next one. It means as soon as she finished one project, she started. No sooner had I eaten the fish than I started feeling sick. It means as soon as I ate the fish, I started feeling sick. No sooner had they completed the work than they demanded the wages. It means as soon as they completed the work, they demanded the wages. They asked for their wages. No sooner had I gotten my bags unpacked than I realized that my camera was missing. No sooner had he graduated than he was on his way to America. And no sooner had she read the letter than she started crying. As soon as she read the letter, she started crying. By the way, guys, simple past is common in this structure. Simple past is common. So we say, no sooner did I arrive at the station than the train came. Please pay attention, guys. We say, no sooner did I arrive. Did I arrive? Don't say arrived, please. No sooner did I arrive. Or no sooner did we hear. Did we hear, not heard. No sooner did we hear the noise than we rushed to the spot. Okay, so hardly had I reached the station when the train came, or scarcely had I reached the station when the train came. By the way, we can use as soon as with the same meaning. As soon as I arrived at the station, the train came. Or as soon as she finished one project, she started working on the next. Well, guys, clear enough, I hope. You know, just to master this grammar, you need a little attention and some practice. It's just a piece of cake, believe me. So, Let's see, everyone, page 26, no sooner than. The phrase no sooner than is used to indicate, to show that two events, two actions happened simultaneously or in quick succession. Simultaneously, guys, means at the same time, simultaneously. In quick succession means one after another, quickly one after another, in quick succession, in rapid succession, quickly one after another. So, check out the examples. No sooner had I left the house than it started to thunder. Thunder means when the clouds just crash each other, there is this loud noise in the sky. And please pay attention to the inversion. No sooner had I. Again, guys, this is not a question. We call it inversion. We bring the auxiliary to the very beginning. Next one. No sooner had the pastor begun to speak than the baby started crying in the back. No sooner had. Pastor means a Christian priest, a sacred, a holy person that preaches religion. Next one. No sooner had I finished watering the garden than it started raining. Again, no sooner had inversion because we have no sooner at the very beginning. Remember, we said instead of had plus PP, we can use simple past. No sooner did I arrive at the station than the train, came. So, no sooner did I arrive. Did I arrive. And no sooner did we hear the noise than we rushed to the spot, to the place. No sooner did we hear. Okay, there is another alternative, everyone, another similar structure. Hardly when or scarcely when. Or guys, we say hardly before or scarcely before. Okay, the same meaning. This phrase, or let's say these phrases, are another alternatives to no sooner than. Note, the sentences after no sooner and hardly or scarcely are inverted. Remember, again, if we put hardly, scarcely, or no sooner at the very beginning, the sentences have to be inverted. Check out the examples. Hardly had I stepped out of the kitchen when I started to smell something burning. Hardly had the party started when drinks started spilling on the floor, just flowing all over the floor. Hardly had I reached the station when the train came. Scarcely had I reached the station when or before the train arrived. Or scarcely had she finished reading when or before she fell asleep. Well, micro practice. Micro practice. Rewrite the following sentences using no sooner than. No sooner than. Example. As soon as I got out of bed, I took a bath. Okay, you see two actions happen simultaneously at the same time, and of course not exactly at the same time. Let's say in quick succession, quickly one after another. Action one, then quickly action two. So guys, there are different, let's say, possibilities, different ways to just connect these two sentences. So check the answers out. No sooner had I gotten out of bed than I took a bath. Or no sooner did I get, so you see, did I get out of bed than I took a bath. Or hardly or scarcely had I gotten out of bed when I took a bath. Alright, number one. As soon as the sun rose, rose, risen. The fog disappeared, vanished. Okay, so as soon as the sun rose, the fog disappeared. So no sooner had the sun risen than the fog disappeared. Or scarcely had the sun risen than the fog disappeared. Or rarely had the sun risen. Scarcely or hardly had the sun risen when or before the fog disappeared. Number two, as soon as I finished my studies, I got a job. Lucky you. So, guys, we can say no sooner had I finished my studies than I got a good job. Or scarcely or hardly had I finished my studies when or before I got a job. Or scarcely did I finish. Did I finish? Again, it is possible, guys. Number three, as soon as I put the phone down, it started ringing again. So, to say, no sooner did I put the phone down than it started ringing again. Or scarcely or hardly did I put the phone, or scarcely or rarely, hardly, scarcely or hardly had I put the phone down when or before it started ringing again. Number four, as soon as they met, they fell in love with each other. So it was love at first sight. Okay. So as soon as they met, they fell in love. Well, no sooner did they meet than they fell in love with each other. Or scarcely or hardly did they meet when or before they fell in love with each other. Or scarcely or hardly had they met when or before they fell in love with each other. Number five, as soon as the sun disappeared below the horizon, okay, below the horizon, horizon, so below the horizon, darkness began to envelop the planet. Envelop means to just cover or wrap. Okay. So as soon as the sun disappeared below the horizon, darkness began to envelop the planet Earth. So no sooner had the sun disappeared below the horizon than darkness began to envelop the horizon. Scarcely, hardly had the sun disappeared, or scarcely, hardly, or no sooner did the sun disappear below the horizon, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, scarcely or hardly did the sun disappear below the horizon. when or before darkness began to envelop the planet. Okay, well, that's it. Guys, we've got a page from our magazine. This is the last page from our magazine. Okay, just a minute, please. So, page 50, guys. Each other versus together. Each other. It is a pronoun. It refers to a reciprocal action. Reciprocal, everyone, means joint, involving two people, two groups. Reciprocal. Involving two groups, two people, joint. Reciprocal action, which means I do X to you and you do X to me. I do something to you and you do something to me. And it is always two words, each and other. For example, Susan and Robert are talking to each other. It means Susan is talking to Robert and Robert is talking to Susan. They're talking to each other. Together, everyone, together is an adverb. It refers to a common action which is done by two or more people rather than individually, alone. Okay? So, together means alone, everyone, separately. So, together, together, I'm so sorry, is the opposite of alone, opposite of separately. Okay, separately, it means with each other. And each other refers to an action which is done by two or more people rather than individually, not alone individually. We do X together, we do something together. For example, we go to school together, we watch TV together. Okay? For example, we worked on the project together. It means we both worked on the same thing. Or they are happy together. They are made for each other. Let's check out some example sentences, everyone. Each other. Susan and Robert kissed each other passionately. They kissed each other passionately. The girls looked at each other. Yeah? She looked at her and she looked at each other. They enjoy each other's company, being together, yeah? Each other's company. They kept looking at each other and smiling. Or they're always wearing each other's clothes. Each other's clothes. Or why are you always arguing with each other? Yeah, arguing with each other. They're so happy they were made for each other. It means they are perfectly matched. For together. We very much enjoyed working together. Work together. They've decided to spend more time together. He and my father were at school together. Together, they went back inside the villa. We used to go to aerobics together. We worked together on a project a couple of years back. ago. Could you add these figures, these numbers together for me? You mix all the dry ingredients together before you add the milk. I like both flavors separately, but I don't like them together. You could stick that back together, means join the separate parts to each other with a bit of glue. Okay, so stick that back together. She said, never trust a man whose eyes are so close together. Really weird. The waiter asked if we were all together, so I explained that we were two separate parties and we should get together, meet each other socially sometime and have a drink. Okay, so next part, everyone, we have tell versus say. By the way, both are irregular verbs. We say tell, told, told, say, said, said. So both are used with direct and indirect speech. Say is more common than tell with indirect speech. We say tell somebody something, tell somebody something. Somebody is the object. So with indirect object. For example, Jim told me is the object, that you've been offered a job. Or we say something without indirect object. Jim said that you've been offered a job. Jim said this, that you've been offered a job. Say something. Tell is only used to mean instruct or inform, to let someone know. So we don't use tell with greetings, saying hello with exclamations, showing surprise or questions. You say tell the truth, tell a lie, tell a joke, tell the time, tell the difference. Say hello, say goodbye, say yes, say good morning, say sorry. Don't use tell or say to introduce indirect questions. Use say instead. This is the example. Bill asked whether or if. You see, this is an indirect question, so we can't use tell here. We need to use ask. Bill asked whether I wanted to see the movie. Okay, again, I'd like to, guys, share something with you. Will you just wait a minute? Okay. So, check this out, everyone. Check it out. Using say, tell, and ask in English. Okay. So, say hello, say good morning, say good afternoon, say something, say nothing, say so, say a few words, say no more, say nothing, say for sure, say for certain, say a prayer, say yes or say no. Tell. Tell someone one's name. Tell me your name. Tell someone the way. Tell someone something. Tell a secret. Tell a joke. Tell a lie. Opposite of tell the truth. Tell one from another to distinguish people. Tell someone's fortune. A fortune teller tells your fortune. Tell a story. Tell the difference. Tell the truth. Tell the time and tell your name. And of course we have ask here. Let me just read them out. Ask a question, ask a favor, ask the price, ask the time, ask after someone. It means ask about. We have about here. Ask around. It means to ask a lot of people questions. Ask for something, ask for someone. It means you'd like to see or speak to someone. Ask for advice, ask for directions, ask permission, ask someone out to date someone, and ask for information about someone. Okay? So, and here, everyone, say and tell are irregular verbs. The past simple of say is said. The past simple of tell is told. He asked if I was looking for work, and I said yes. Then he told me how he had got the job by lying about his age. We use say and tell in different ways in reported speech. Say focuses on the words someone said, and tell focuses more on the content or message of what someone said. Hello, she said. Okay, we don't use told here. She told him they were going on holiday, so the focus is on information. We use say with direct speech. Direct speech. We don't normally use tell in this way. He said, I'm not paying 50 pounds for that. And we have say and tell with objects. Both say and tell take a direct object. The object is most commonly the reported clause. The report of what someone said. So reporting clause and reported clause, direct object. She said, I don't know what you mean. I told her what it had happened. So tell normally takes an indirect object. Okay, indirect object. One or more people. And a direct object, the reported clause. Okay. So the boy told us. The boy told us he didn't want any more. However, we use tell without an indirect object with words such as tell the truth, tell a lie, tell a joke, tell a story. You should never tell a lie. Come on, Kevin, you're good at telling jokes. And say does not take an indirect object. Instead, we use a phrase with to. And then she said to me. You see, said to me. I'm your cousin. We've never met before. And tell plus indirect object plus to infinitive. We use tell with an indirect object and a to infinitive to report a command or an instruction, an order. We don't normally use say in this way. They told us to come back the next day. They told us. They told her to wait till the doctor arrived. And in formally speaking, we sometimes use say plus to infinitive to report a command or an instruction. I asked him if he wanted it today, but he said to leave it till tomorrow. And here, we've got some typical errors, typical mistakes. Okay, we don't use an indirect object with say. I'm in a hurry, he said to me. We don't use tell without an indirect object when we report someone's words. Then a loud voice said hello, and she said she would wait for us outside. Okay, and the last part, everyone, common mistakes. This is about suggest. Okay, everyone, suggest is a verb. We say suggest doing something or suggest that someone do something or should do something. Okay, suggest doing something, suggest that someone do or should do something. Well, don't say suggest someone to do something. This is a common mistake, I'm afraid. His father suggested that he apply for the job. Okay, guys, please pay attention. You see, suggested that he should apply or suggested that he apply. He apply. Don't say to apply or applies. Again, this is a common mistake among our dear students. So, suggest. We can use the word suggest with a noun phrase, with a that clause, with the ing form of a verb, and with a WH question word. Where, what, who. Okay? So, suggest plus a noun clause. We can use a noun phrase. We can use a noun phrase as the object of suggest. Can you suggest a good restaurant in this part of town? If we need to mention the person who receives the suggestion, we use a to construction. Check it out. My teacher suggested an exam I could take at the end of the year. Or, my teacher suggested an exam to me, suggested something to me, an exam to me, which I could take at the end of the year. Suggest plus a that clause. When we suggest an action to someone, we can use a that clause. In informal situations, that is often left out, omitted. We delete it. I suggest that, or I suggest you leave here around 4 o'clock. The traffic gets very bad from about 4:30 onwards. When suggest is in the past, we can use should in that clause. Her doctor suggested that she should reduce her working hours and take more exercise. Well, everyone, we say her doctor suggested that she reduce. Don't use to or reduces. She reduce or she should reduce her working hours and take more exercise. And remember, we had suggest plus ing form. We can use suggest with the ing form of a verb when we mention an action but do not mention the person who will do it, because it is understood in the context. She suggested traveling together for safety. So, suggested traveling, doing something, since the area was so dangerous. And remember, we have suggest plus WH question words. We can use suggest with a question word such as where, what, who, how. These are WH question words, everyone. Could you suggest where I might be able to buy a nice sweater for Mark? Can anyone suggest how we might attract more people to the next event? And guys, here they've got some typical mistakes, typical errors. We don't use suggest plus indirect object plus to infinitive when we suggest an action to someone, okay? He suggested that I should apply, or he suggested that I apply for a job at a bank or insurance company. We don't use to, don't use to. This is a mistake. We don't use suggest plus to infinitive, again, a common mistake. So Henry wanted to tell everyone, but Dora suggested waiting until the news had been announced officially. So suggested waiting. Okay. So, everyone, that's it. We're done. Hope you just enjoyed the class. Thanks for accompanying us. Thank God we've got just 2 pages left. I mean, pages 27 and 28. So, God willing, we are about to wrap up High 2. We have just one session left. Remember, the final exam is just around the corner. So I hope you've already started reviewing and just rewatching the video to get prepared for the final exam. Well, thanks again. This is your teacher, Mr. Mazlumi from Chitsazan Language Institute, wishing you a great